Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Dynamo video. In this one, we're talking about prize picks for Sunday Night Football. We got the Cowboys at 49ers, so going to be a good one for sure. In our last NFL video for Thursday Night Football, go back and watch that one if you didn't. We had to break down the game strategy of what we thought the game was going to be like, and actually all five of our picks hit, which is pretty insane. That's going to be a 10x multiplier on prize picks. So hitting a 5 for 5 is a pretty big deal on prize picks because, if you lose your next 8 bets in a row, you're still going to be profitable. So go back and check that one out. Stay tuned for all 5 picks to consider in this video for this game. But another great place to play, a ton of free money and a free square is Thrive. It's just like prize picks. If you haven't signed up for Thrive yet, you're leaving a ton of money on the table and a free square. For this game, we have CeeDee Lamb over a half receiving yards for new users who deposit at least $25 on Thrive. It'll be the pinned comment, also linked down below. Definitely sign up over there for free money and a free square. For this game, we're going to have to come up with a game script like we did for Thursday night, and that really helps you hit in these same game parlay picks here on Prizepicks. 45-point total, 3.5-point favorites for the 49ers. Personally, the game script that I'm going to be building these picks around, if we were taking this straight up, it would be, 24-21 in favor of the 49ers. That matches up with the spread and the total, but personally, I think it's going to be about 24 for the 49ers and 17 or 18 for the Cowboys. So I would be taking the Niners on the spread and the under in this game. I'm not convinced Dallas has a great offense yet. If we look at Dallas, obviously they've been scoring a ton of points, but against the Patriots, they had 2 defensive touchdowns. Versus the Giants, they had 2 defensive touchdowns. Versus the Jets, Zach Wilson threw 3 interceptions, so they had great field position. There was probably even more turnovers in that game as well. So basically their defense has been carrying a lot of the scoring load for them so far this season. So these scores look really high, but a lot of that falls on the defense, and you got to think the Niners aren't going to turn the ball over a ton and give them field possession like that, or even defensive touchdowns like Dallas has been getting. So not convinced of this Dallas defense just yet. So we're making these picks, taking all that into consideration. But the guy I'm going to here is going to be Christian McCaffrey. And what I like him here is going to be his receiving yards. I think he's going to have to be involved in this game pretty heavily. Had 71 receiving yards last game, 34 in the game before. So I'm going to go over on McCaffrey's receiving yards here. And I am going to be using some free tools over here. And this one is Outlier. That'll be linked down below. They have a free trial if you want to try it out. They have McCaffrey here at 32.5, so we're actually getting a 1-yard savings right now. You can see he hit it in his last 2 games here. And in 2022, it was about 50-50. It was a 50% hit rate here, but you got to think of that game against Philly when they didn't have a quarterback. You got to cancel that one out, and just missed it a few times as well. I definitely like it in this one. It's gotten as high as 32, so 31.5 we're getting a decent deal here. And then we're going to go to Brock Purdy. So I think this is going to be a McCaffrey game. One of these games where they're going to be heavily running the ball here. McCaffrey, hopefully they get Eli Mitchell back in this one. Deebo Samuel. Don't think it's going to be a huge Purdy game. And for Purdy, he is at 245.5 pass yards, 6.5 rush yards. You can see on the rushing, he's had 1 game over 5 rushing yards. I actually like going on the combo because I don't really like the rush yards or the pass yards, but you get a better deal here at 255.5 compared to adding both of these up. So if you don't like both the pass and rush, you should look at the pass rush combo here because it's usually a little higher. So taking the under here for Purdy. Again, I think this is going to be a defensive game here. The Niners only going to put up 24 in my prediction, and then the Cowboys under 20. Niners haven't scored less than 30 all year, so I think it's going to be a little harder offensively. They're going to really feed on McCaffrey on those underneath short passes is the game script I'm building out here. So going with those 2 to start it out. And then another free tool over here that you could check out with a free trial. Also, you get 25% off if you want to continue using it with code Dynamo. So definitely check OddsJam out down below. Their top pick here, based on all these other sportsbooks, what they have is going to be Dre Greenlaw on the Niners, a linebacker, over 8.5 tackles plus assists. We're going to go with this one just because it's a great pick, great way to fill out your 5-pick slips, especially on these same game parlays. You know, minus 134, minus 135. A lot of these sports books really like this one to hit, so we're going to be going with that one. Dre Greenlaw here on the over for our third Niners pick. Now we're going to load it up with a couple Cowboys here. The Cowboys one that we like here is going to be Dak, but we don't like Dak. We like him on the interception, so kind of the opposite. And we're going to take him over a half interception, so basically just needs to throw one. Dak hasn't been asked to do much at all this year. I think he's going to be asked to do a lot in this game. I think Dallas is going to have to pass a lot to be effective offensively in this game, if they are even at all. And I think they're going to be behind throwing the ball. So let's check out Dak on Outlier over here. The interceptions, you could see what these sportsbooks have. Minus 142 on Caesars, minus 138 FanDuel. They really like this one on the sportsbooks. In his last 10, he's thrown an interception in at least 6 games. This year, obviously, hasn't been had to do a lot, so only 1 interception on the year so far. A really cool thing you can do over here on Outlier is you can filter games without players, games with players here, only home or away games. But a cool thing that makes sense for this one is if we expect Dallas to lose this game, we can check out any game where Dallas has lost, essentially, and see how many interceptions Dak has thrown. So in 4 of their 4 last losses, Dak has thrown an interception in every single loss. So if we're predicting them to lose, 100% of the time in his last 4. And then if we go back to 2022, in 5 of 5 losses for the Cowboys last year, Dak threw an interception. So this one definitely checks out from the sports books, really like it. And when Dallas loses, it's 100% likely from 2022 and 2023 that Dak has thrown an interception so far. So we're definitely liking this one. So come over here, lock that one in. Then we're going to go to continue our game script here. We said we think Dallas is going to be down all game, throwing a good amount. So we're going to go to Tony Pollard, but we're going to take under on the rush attempts of 15.5. Obviously, he's been getting a good amount of carries, except for when they're blowing people out like New England and New York Giants here. They didn't carry him that much, but I think this one, just being down with the Niners having a strong run defense, that Pollard's not going to get that many carries in this game. 16 is, a good amount of carries, and if they're down, they're not going to be wanting to run the clock out here, essentially playing into the game script that we've set up here. It's hard to look this one up for Tony Pollard because obviously he hasn't been the lead back for that long, because last year they had Ezekiel Elliott, but you could see here the under of 15.5 rush attempts. DraftKings has it at minus 130. MGM minus 135. Caesars minus 133. So they like this one to go under. So that's our 5th one we're going to go to. Again, if you guys didn't watch the Thursday night video, we set up a similar game script to what we thought was going to happen in the game. And we thought that one was going to be high scoring. We think this one's going to be low scoring. So we're picking these guys to reflect how we think the game is going to go. And I think that's really important for these single game parlay slates. If you guys want to try out any of these tools, Outlier or OddsJam over here, free trials down below in the description to check them out. Also, definitely sign up for Thrive. If you're not, you're leaving free money on the table. Also, a free square in one of your slips for Sunday, so might as well get over there. Deposit at least $25 to get the free square. All right, now we're going to do a quick recap of the picks. We got Dak Prescott has thrown an interception in every single loss last year and this year. We're going to go over on that. Tony Pollard here. We think that Dallas is going to have to be throwing a lot, taking the under on 15.5 carries. Then we got Dre Greenlaw. That one's from OddsJam. All the sports books really like this one to go over. He's been absolutely a tackle machine this year. Brock Purdy on the under. We think the Niners are going to win, but not score 30 points like they have every single game. We think they're going to be in the lower 20s in this one, so not as many pass yards for Purdy here. And then McCaffrey, we think they're going to hit them in the short game here and actually hit his receiving yards. So that's going to be our 5 picks here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. Check out some of these tools with the free trials, and definitely sign up for Thrive to take advantage of the free money, free square. And we'll see you guys in another one.